Smolka is what I call him because that's the name he was known by in Prague before the war. Smolka was an Orientalist, a free thinker, a smoker of hashish, a man for whom the established conventions were there to be scorned. Smolka was a very private man, and only one photograph of him is known to exist, caught by chance on a Tangier street. My memory of our meeting is confused, like an old film worn out, flickering frame by frame through a cheap projector. The events themselves have gone, leaving nothing but a vague impression. What's left is a dull, shapeless thing, composed of scraps and refuse, of blurs and smudges, grey and meaningless to the point of tedium. Smolka was a master of obscurity. Though I might describe his face or his clothes, I would never understand him. Yet I want to salvage whatever I can before there's nothing left, before the streets of Prague, like the events they witnessed, perish and disappear. I was then a bookseller. My aim was to locate those books which aroused something irresistible in the genuine collector. The collector lives in his books, and seeing into their dark past, perhaps avoids his own. My quest took me to Prague. I sought the help of a notorious local book dealer, a man with a peculiar reputation. Like the shimmering streaks of air, Smolka used a form of speech which would often escape me, full of enigmatic phrases and dubious ideas. Smolka lived above a passageway in a building once occupied by something which still haunts that area of the city. I spent only a few moments in Smolka's apartment. His rooms were filled with gloom, like the sterile scene of some hidden crime. What events had these four walls witnessed? What exactly had they seen? As time went by, we seemed to lose direction, became sidetracked. In the middle of a conversation, Smolka would wander off, distracted by some unexplored street or the darkness of a doorway. One day, we agreed to meet on Charles Bridge, and there I waited. And as I waited, I felt something change in the ground under my feet, in the balance of the air. And something lying deep under the surface like the bones of a story barely comprehensible. From the time of Smolka's disappearance, I looked for his flat. But the topography of Prague is strange, like the landscape of dreams. It follows a logic of its own, full of invisible traps and pitfalls. No matter how I tried, my memory tricked me. On entering a house, I would find an unfamiliar stairway, an unexpected door. But I found his childhood house, rich in dreams and memories. In this same building, an old woman now lives on the first floor. Her flat smells of gas, mothballs and disinfectant, of emptiness and decay. There is a story, an uncorroborated one, that Smolka witnessed something extraordinary as a child. It happened in an ordinary street, neglected and forgotten, one usually missed by passers-by. I don't know what it was or what effect it had on him, but they said it changed him forever, turned him in a certain direction, began a sequence of events which would end who knows where. Smolka had a theory about alchemy and death. He anticipated his own death, he said, with moist palms and a dry mouth. And lying there in the red dirt with the others, in the clay, half forgotten, he would become like the Golem, an unformed mass, ready one day to assume a new identity. What exactly was he suggesting? I sensed the point of his argument like something dark approaching. And then one morning, I dreamed that I had killed Smolka and had hidden his corpse somewhere. But as time passed in the dream, the corpse shrunk and dried out. The skin became taut and it came to look like some ancient artifact, a rare sphinx-like object, obscure and desirable, a holy relic, a collector's piece. And I realized that perhaps I had gone down a path leading to some unknown place. The myths tell of something which cannot die, which lives on in death and rises again at the end of all human existence. It passes through a series of migrations, which follow the will of their creator, which must remain dumb but see all hidden things. Yet they were imperfect creations, temporary, ephemeral, fatally flawed. Empty days followed my collapse. I felt a strange sadness, an overwhelming sense of impending doom. Smolka had claimed to be the spiritual heir of Rabbi Lowe and the Prague alchemists. But now I suspected he was simply a sham, dust fading into nothingness. I have a sense of having forgotten something important, as those silent streets hold only a faint impression of the events long after the characters of our story have gone. It is rather the failure of a story. This quiet place, this empty town, this abandoned city. And I often wonder what became of Smolka in the Holocaust that followed. Though he was perhaps no more than a phantom, a smudge on the film left by a careless hand.